Hello, everyone. Welcome to one more episode of Life in Progress, the personal and professional stories. As we are promising you that we bring a lot of new content for you every week. So, if you are new to this channel, you can subscribe to this channel. And today's episode is all about a very important and interesting topic. It's all about your investment. Yes, how to invest, when to invest, where to invest. So, we will discuss all about this investment in detail with our today's guest. Our today's guest is Sakina. She's a chartered accountant. She works a lot on taxation. She's a financial advisor, the wealth advisor. So, without a further delay, I just welcome Sakina. Okay, so hello everyone. I know you all are looking forward for this discussion because investments are a pain point for many of us, undoubtedly for me and for many of you. And today we are having one investment expert, though she is a chartered accountant, but she is doing a lot in this area, helping many people. So, Sakina, first of all, welcome to this show
Hello,
and welcome to this
everyone.
discussion, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Pleasure.
Yeah, and Sakina, we are looking forward to discuss with you so many points. Before I start my first question, I'll just request you to give a brief introduction of yourself. That was it your dream to become a chartered accountant? Was it pre-decided, or you came here? How it all started?
So, nothing pre-decided. It was a very simple thing that I wanted a postgraduate degree
Okay.
along with my graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And any MBA or anything I could have done after a BCom would take 2-3 years additional, and I was in a hurry. So
Oh.
I started my CA. I did my foundation inter before I did my TY, and then thereafter I cleared my final. So yeah, that's the journey. Nothing decided, and it
Okay.
was just that yeah, I do love math. I do love logical problem solving. So that is what we do, and law is another thing I love so much. So that, and then I think it was destiny. Let's just say that.
Sakina, but I believe you could be an inspiration for many CA aspirants because that is not the domain which many people enter into and they come out with the flying colors. So that is one of the very important thing which you have
So
mentioned.
if you want that part from me, I'll tell you one thing, okay, very honestly. I told you that I wanted to do a postgrad very quickly, and that's the reason I chose my CA, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure God must be laughing at me out there because I my foundation was first attempt, inter was first attempt, my one group of final was first attempt, and
Wow.
then there was a break of 12 years before
Oh,
I gave my last attempt for my CA where I cleared. So 12 years, I was a housewife per se and seeing a lot of ups and downs in life. And yeah, so it took me 12 years to come to where I needed to go, which I thought I would do it a couple of years after graduation. So what more inspiration they could want? If I could have done it, all the young guns will definitely be able to do it.
true, Sakina. It means I was looking for this much inspiration and you gave me that much inspiration. Wonderful. So,
Yeah.
Sakina, straightforward, I'm jumping to my questions because I have a bunch of things to ask related to investment. And first of all, I want to ask you, just consider there is someone who just new to this field of investment, don't know anything about investments. So, from where you will start? If
So
somebody wants to start the journey, so how you
we'll
will give them the advice, how they can start?
okay, so we'll take one step back. Okay, before
Okay.
investment, there are two more things that come.
Hmm.
First is an income,
Hmm.
and second is saving, and then thereafter we do investment.
Yes.
So let's rewind a little and then come forward.
Okay.
So the ideal thing is when you ask me what is the right time to invest, when should you start investing, I would say right from childhood you have to inculcate that habit with your children. With the first pocket money you give them, say 100 rupees given, 20 rupees put it aside, 80 is yours to spend, 20 we'll put aside and we'll do something with it, we'll collect it, we'll do something bigger with it. So
Like
that
the
is the
piggy
first
bank
habit.
things we used to do.
Yes, yes, so that is the first time, the first whenever you get money in hand, the first time, the the feel of money, the idea about money. And I think nowadays I'm it's a little presumptuous, but our education system is more monotonous. It's not, it doesn't teach you life lessons. It teaches you the textual lessons. So these are certain things that we had inculcated at our times, but I don't see that happening, you know. So that little pinch, that whatever comes your way, before, so I would say before expending, saving.
Okay.
So for every 100 rupees, if the ideal, I would say the ratio will be 10 to 20% of saving at whatever level you are. You cannot spend and then save. Okay. So whatever you get, first you save, then you spend. And after saving, then comes the investment. Because you're saving for a purpose. There has to be a reason to save. And that will be your reason to invest as well. So yes, your question was, when do you start investing? So first you start saving, have a goal for that saving, and then you start investing. And there is no time bar. There's no first step, second step, nothing. The sooner you get doing it, it's a good lifelong habit to have. So yeah.
Nice. It means as early as possible. The moment you start earning, no matter whether...
Not even earning. I'm not even talking about earning. I'm talking about the first pocket money, the first sense of money that you have. If that is inculcated from there, you never look behind.
That's true. That's very true. So Sakina, now I'm asking a little moving ahead in this journey. For example, I felt that now I have to start the formal investing options. Okay, now I'm moving away from my piggy bank. So when I am moving towards the formal investments, so the first question comes to anyone's mind is how I will assess with the risk part of the investment. Because if I'm having 100 rupees, I want to invest somewhere. So the people will first start thinking I should invest in that kind of domain which is risk free. So how do you assess those points when it comes to investment?
So all right, again, now this is very relative. It depends on what age you've started, honestly. So if you're a younger person who's 18, 20, 21, 25, with their first job, with their first set of income, and who's willing to invest, then somebody who's a little later, say 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, so their investment goals are very different. Because their returns, what they want out of the investment, should be very different. So when we again talk about investment is not your first step. Your first step is to decide, why are you saving this? What do you want out of this money of yours? Is it a stable income? Is it growth? Do you have the gestation? What is your time horizon for it?
Okay.
Is it something that, like, so again, now when we talk about an investment goal, it could be as simple as a vacation. I want to have a vacation. Maybe once a year, I want to take an international trip, and I'm going to have a kitty for it. So obviously, I'll not go into a market and where the time horizon and gestation for that particular investment is, say, 3, 5, 10 years. So it will not make sense. So that's when I'll go for a fixed return, and I need to get that money when I need to get it, which is very quick. But supposing my time horizon is my retirement fund, which I needed, say, next 20 years, 25 years. So then I will again see investments which have a longer gestation and greater returns.
Okay.
So that is how I will see my investment. At what age I am, what my risk appetite is, how soon I want my investment to give me returns.
Okay. So Sakina, what I am understanding here, everything is related to what is my purpose of investing.
Right. And that is one thing, through this particular, this particular podcast of ours, I want to get it across to people, because most of the times, whenever you think about investment, there is some investment advisor, somebody who's trying to push a product onto you. That product is a great one, but is it great for you? Does it match your requirement? What you want out of your money? So that is where we fail. And that is where most of our investments fail for us. Because we've not decided what we want to do with this investment. When do we want it? How much do we want? So it's a backward forward, Okay.
So first of all, a person should do the need-based analysis कि मुझे ज़रूरत कहाँ है. So once I understand what is my requirement, what is my goal, accordingly I have to invest. Now, Sakina, one more point. When we are discussing that, I have understood my requirements. Now the next stage comes, say for an example, I want to invest for, let's say, foreign trips, whatever you are saying. Or for, let's say, for example, the child's education, because that is one of the important criteria for people investing. Now, when I go to the outside world, I find various options. So then the person got confused. It's like I'm going to a supermarket, I'm going to a shopping mall, and I'm not able to understand what I need to buy. There is a real estate, there is stock exchange, there are mutual funds, different varieties of mutual funds. So now, ab kya hota hai, when I am stepping into the market of investments, now I'm confused what I should do. And you are rightly telling about this. The people are just trying to sell out their products. So, what is your advice at this point of time when my goal is decided? So, how I pick and choose from all these options which are available?
Okay, so now when you decide a goal, I would say there's one more thing you do. You divide your goals into short term, medium term, and long term. And then you pick up products which are short term, medium term, and long term returns.
Okay.
So that is one self analysis you should do. And whoever comes to you with whatever product, you should see how much time you have to stay invested in it to get those kind of returns. So does it match your investment timelines? And does the return match what you are expecting out of that particular investment? So that is how you'll analyze whoever. Anybody can come to you with any kind of product, but you have to see that in your investment goals, where does this product fit? And in that particular small, mid, or large range, do I have capacity to further invest? So if you go out with 100 rupees and you say 20 rupees is say for my child's education, 20 should be my retirement fund, 20 is something that I want to buy real estate, my house with, something 20 is say for my child's marriage. All these small goals is what you have to set yourself throughout your span. The earlier you start, the better it is to do these goal plannings, because at 40 you cannot start planning for retirement fund. It's a little too late for child's education, because they're right at the door of college, and you see you need a fund by then.
Sakina, can you just elaborate, because this is the point where many people got stuck. कि अगर मेरा ये goal है, if I am investing for example, if I am investing for child's education, so in what kind of places I should invest? Should I invest in the real?
Can I give you a brief
any hypothetical example?
A hypothetical example, who's supposing somebody who started at 18, they're in college, with a little pocket money, not earning as yet. So if they could check with their parents, or if they could see whether they have a medical insurance. Okay. Next, a life insurance. Anything that's coming their way at any intervals, near intervals, because whenever parent plans for the child, it is basically from 18 to 30 is what they have planned. In the last few years, the insurance and other products have always had that kind of maturity. From 18 to 30 is when the child would be receiving it at various stages. So they can factor that in. Now with their first salary that comes in, so they could have, the first you have to see, so there's a need and want. You have to see that your needs are taken care of first. And then thereafter we plan for our wants. So your need would be that you need to be insured in case of emergencies, right? Then there has to be a small FD or some kind of a fixed, investment. And FD, it's not a product I sell for investment, or I tell it's not a product that kind of resonates with me for investment, because it doesn't beat inflation. But FD is required in investment basket for emergencies, because you have to have an emergency fund so that you don't break everything else. So a little emergency fund needs to be started. Then you have a short-term goal. Initially, the goals are, I want to start my own portfolio. I want to start my vacation planning. Maybe I want to buy my car, my own mobile phone, high-ended phones nowadays, gadgets. They are also expensive. You might not be able to take it up immediately. So those are those small kitties you start very early on. It need not be very large. The aims also need not be very large. So after having started that and maybe successfully done one little investment or one little goal achievement, you get, you get motivated.
Like the flavor of investment.
Yeah, bigger ones. Okay, a bigger goal, a little more investment. Yeah, so and you have to be very practical about your timelines and your limitations. A lot of times I feel people fail there. They have very unrealistic expectations with their investment. Okay, so you cannot have that. You need to know how much I'm saving, and how much at the end of 20 years, what kind of money will this show me? That's to be very realistic, So, for example, I would say what investment does for me in a very narrow sense is that if, say in 2000s, in the year 2000, I was able to buy, say, a t-shirt for $500, which is now costing me, say, $5,000. My 500 invested then should give me a 5,000 now in order to be able to afford that same lifestyle. So that is one very long-term goal. See, you cannot be productive throughout. So your investment has to do that for you. Where you fail, and that is the long-term investment plan that we need to have. Short terms, yes, all these holidays and stuff, they are okay. They're fun things. But your long-term goal has to be self-sufficiency when you are not able to do things yourself.
So can we understand in this way that till a certain age of time, we are working for money, but our investment in such a manner so that money should start working for us?
Exactly. So that should be your long term and the biggest motivation for investing, to keep you. So you don't have to work for the money throughout your life. At some point of time, you should be able to work for your own happiness, something that satisfies you, and have enough financial freedom that your basics are taken care of, your needs, your necessities are taken care of. So yeah, the rest of that you can go up and down but this much is taken care of for you to have that freedom. So investment is basically freedom to do other things, is what I would say.
True. Sakina, one more point, one more little technical thing I want to ask. Whenever it comes to investments, so many times there are many people. Like if I talk about myself, I'm not so well versed with the market trends. कि अभी market ऊपर जा रहा है, अभी market down है, अभी ये सेंसेक्स हाई है, अभी इसके रेट्स ज्यादा है. So how a normal person, I'm talking in terms of a non-financial background person, अगर उसको, if that person wants to understand कि I need to invest in this kind of portfolio because the market is going high, so how these terms can a person who is no idea about these financial terms can understand? Is there any
I'll give you a secret.
Yes.
Secret. I know so much about finance, markets, everything, but I don't do my own investment.
Okay.
I have a wealth advisor who does it for me.
Wow.
For the simple reason that I am so much into my practice that where the market is going, to take those quick decisions, I don't have the time. Okay. And it's a lot of reading and research. Now, when you talk about, what are you saying? When you're talking about market, you're talking about trading, you're talking about stock. All this leads to a business.
Okay.
All these are terms which are business related. Am I in that business? I am not. I'm a professional conducting my professional things. So can I take those decisions? Can I do it quickly? No, I just cannot. I don't have the time. So I don't do it for myself either. So, for a lot of people who are not, and you have to be actively involved, and you should have a knack for it. You should be actively involved. Yes, you should have an understanding. You should go to certain seminars so that nobody's taking you for a ride. That knowledge has to be there. But with that knowledge, can you enter the market and start doing your own trading? Possibly not. Because it requires a time, which you may or may not have. And then there are the tips. Then there are those XYZ channels that give you those tips and everything. But have you studied and have you reacted in that time? Suppose that tip is like 5 months old. You already missed the boat.
Okay.
And you're caught on the wrong foot.
Because the market trends are changing on daily or maybe hourly basis.
Hourly basis, minutes. So there are those decisions. So honestly, I would advise them to go to this one person, a wealth manager or somebody, a relationship manager whom they can trust. Give them their goals. Give them the kind of amount they can, they need to get invested, and probably trust them. And on the side, if they don't feel they want to take a parity, they can have a small amount. And I'm literally saying they'll play with it. Okay. And else, if that also doesn't work with you, the best is let's do an MF. Let's do a mutual fund. Okay. Because they're fund advisors. They're doing it at a larger scale. They are updated with the market. It's transparent. Again, when you're studying a fund, you should know where is the fund heading? What are the benchmarks? Past is no indicative of the future. Any wealth advisor or any RM will tell you. But whatever is their past, where is their future? What are the markets they have gone into, what are the industries they are into, what is the gestation of those industries, is it the right time to enter, so what is the exit you will be taking. So even before entry, I always see my exit plan. That is one thing we escape, that okay, enter, we all will enter, but when do I want to exit, and is the market heading towards that exit that I want?
Okay.
And then there is
please.
And then there is COVID that happens, which will wipe off everything. So how much can you predict?
Okay.
But when a COVID happened, did I want my exit at that time? I did not. So does it affect me? No, it doesn't. But somebody who planned around that time, maybe COVID impacted them very badly. You know, so it never, you can never invest based on the market or what the trends are saying. You always invest on how you want to take your exit.
So 2 points I could understand till now, and I believe I should just summarize till here. That first of all, my goal should be ready, my gestation period should be ready with me, my exit plan should be ready with me. These are the few important pointers which should be ready with me. One more thing. There are many people with a mindset, that's a mindset issue. Many people having this mindset that I'm not earning enough so that I should go for the investments. This is a very common mindset with many people. So how you will do, what you will do to change that mindset, that whatever you are earning is sufficient enough to start your investment, which we call the micro investing. Undoubtedly, the childs who are doing that piggy bank activity, they started. But once we enter into the life's business and so many other things starts coming up, the people start having this feeling that no, Abhi, it's not the right time to go for the investments. So how those mindsets can be changed and how we can promote those people for micro investments?
So yes, again, as I said, this first small one, if you're able to achieve the target by itself, it motivates you to do the next. That is a very good bonvita for it. Okay, nothing else can beat the high of having achieved one little goal that you have. Start small. It always starts small. Okay, there's no denying. And now again, if I have 1 lakh earned, I can spend a 110 lakh also, 110 also. Okay, but then it's up to me. Where do I cut it? So I need to first sit down with my budget. This is my earning. This is my fixed expenses. I cannot do without. But where all can I cut it? And can I make that 10 and 20% saving every month? Can I just do that much?
Sakina, for that understanding as well, the person should go to any advisor, financial advisor?
No, not really.
Okay.
Because your earning and your spending is on you.
Okay.
What you can go with the wealth advisor or manager or whoever or anywhere else. Once you know that this is what I'm going to save every month, now what do I do with it?
Okay.
It could be 5,000, it could be 1,000, it could be 500 even.
But
and trust me, when it
small
grows,
amount can be started.
Yes, and honestly, when initially, when you're at a very lower rung, when you're just starting off, you really don't have so much disposable income, as you rightly said. It has to be one amount which doesn't pinch you. So it could be that one meal, one Saturday night, I didn't eat out, I cooked in. Let's have a meal at home and enjoy that. So that amount that's saved, let me invest that.
Yes.
It could just be that much, one little sacrifice.
Or maybe I'm missing one sitting in the parlor and that I'm investing in.
Yeah, maybe anything, one little luxury you let go of to just start that.
Yeah, that's a very
and maybe, and if I don't say even let go, don't sit in a parlor, just do some home grooming for yourself. Why do you let go of the activity? Do it in another way, which is cost effective. Yeah. What's stopping you? All things in life, good things in life are free, honestly.
True. That's a no doubt. That's a very good advice, so that the people will get certain level of motivation, they should start. One more doubt which comes to many people's mind, that many people who start just their investment journey, we have discussed what are the do's for it, like goals should be ready, exit plan should be ready. Are there any don'ts, or are there any checklist that these are the mistakes which are very probable to happen, and these are the things people should avoid making such kind of things? which
So
you have
one
seen with
is
your clients?
unrealistic goal. I told you, don't have unrealistic goals with your
Mhm.
investment. Don't think that it's not going to supplement whatever you're doing. Honestly, it's not going to make you overnight rich. So if
Okay.
it's too good to be true, it is false. And those are the traps they generally fall into. People who promise very high returns, um, take it with a pinch of salt. If it's high returns, see if your investment is collateralized. If there's no collateral, like if I'm buying a mutual fund, I do get a unit.
Hmm.
Correct. If I'm buying a share, I'm getting something. So if there is somebody who comes with an investment plan for you, which does not have any collateral substance to it,
Hmm.
again, be careful.
Okay.
Those are very common mistakes for youngsters. They get carried away with high return expectations.
Hmm.
Another thing that I would say, and this is not only for youngsters, this is any group, anywhere, don't get emotional with your investments. People, yeah, so if it is, if it's a loss making fund also, this was the first fund I invested in, I'm going to continue with it. Why? What's it doing for you?
Hmm.
you know and then
And
there
this
is a stop
money.
loss take profit policy also, so don't get greedy.
Hmm. And many times, what I have seen with the parents, that this amount I have invested for my child's name, so this will keep on running no matter whether it's a loss fund or not.
Correct. So don't get trapped with that. And
Hmm.
that is the reason you go to a professional, maybe get you a little perspective on that, will maybe help you that it should grow. So like, okay, I had this case of a grandfather giving grandchildren FDs every year on their birthdays. And the flip side of it was that whatever FD interest came, it came and was clubbed with the children, the one who's a higher earning, because minor FD interest gets clubbed with the parent, whoever's earning more.
Hmm.
So almost and he was really in the high tax bracket, the son. So he was honestly paying almost 45% of the FD interest in taxes. So what was happening? The fund was not growing.
Hmm.
It was in fact depreciating because it's not beating the inflation, and he has to shell out of his pocket the tax amount.
Hmm.
So there was no purpose to it. So then we requested the grandfather, don't do this. You give them money, let them invest in a mutual fund or another product, which is at least going to grow as a corpus. This is not growing as a corpus. FD 20 years later will also be that FD for that amount.
Hmm.
It's a very slow growth. It's not going to make, it's not going to make anything. It's not going to do what you want it to do.
Hmm.
So those kind of things.
Got it. Sakina, one more point which you are highlighting. Uh, I'm just comparing this FD and mutual funds. Many times when we sit with the financial advisors, they do tell that you should have a diverse portfolio. You should you should have your money invested in different segments. But should I understand in this way that FD investment amount should be very low and mutual fund investments amount should be very high? What should be the ratio?
See,
Means
FD again is not an investment product, honestly.
okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
FDs again, as I told you, for me, it is only an emergency fund which I can just pull out quickly. So it has to be only that much, which maybe
Any
takes care of my
percentage?
3 months of expenses at, suppose somebody faces a sudden job loss.
Hmm.
So they can pull up this FD for 2-3 months. So at least they have something
Hmm.
equivalent to that much expense
Okay.
till they get on to their next job.
If I take one example, say let's say for example somebody is having 10,000 per month investment bracket. So what should be a balanced, diverse portfolio for that person? How the person should segregate that 10,000 per month amount?
Basically, a 60-40 ratio is what is very okay. 60
Okay.
should be market and 40 should be fixed. But it need not be FD only. So we have arbitrage funds also. We have other funds also, which are bonds,
Okay.
gold bonds, other government bonds, company bonds, AAA. All of these could also be looked into.
Okay. So in
But
this case,
60-40 is good. Somebody who has a decent risk appetite, not, very high on risk, 60-40 is generally, so it shows a little growth. 70-30 better, skewered towards market investment.
Okay.
Returns are higher, but obviously the risk is also higher. So somebody with a little more risk appetite can go to a 70-80% is quite high. Beyond that, I would say take a little pause.
Okay. Okay. And one more point, Sakina, though you touched upon the emotional aspects towards when it comes to investments. So, are there any psychological aspects? Means I'm just asking your experience, which you probably you have seen with your clients, that do they get attached psychologically as well with their
Yes,
investments?
they do, and especially it's fixed assets. The house that we stayed in our entire lives, I want that to go to my child, but then your child is sitting in America. Will they be able to come and stay here? And then thereafter, how will they take it back? Because Indian legal system is really skewered, honestly. There's a lot of loopholes that you have to jump through. Sometimes they don't even make those registered wills. Even after the registered will, they have to come, name and all continue to be an issue. Sometimes the names are not correctly spelled.
Oh,
So then a lot of times I do tell them that in your lifetime, so so my mantra for them is there's a time to earn, there's a time to save, there's a time to grow it, and then there's a time to hand over. So do everything at the correct time. So when there's that time to hand over, see to it that it reaches them and it has to be useful to them. Your house in India was useful to you, probably not to them in the US.
true.
So then, yes, do get detached. Do see other investment options. Probably that child wants what do you call, a fund for their own children, college education in America. So can we disinvest here and send it across, if at all that's what you want? So those kind of things, there are cases, and you will be surprised at how much attachment is there, because people who earned it and have lived it. So it's very difficult for them to let go. So and it's not with an FD, it's not with an MF, it's not with your shares also, it's mostly with your fixed assets.
Okay.
And that's another thing I would tell, that fixed assets, you buy only what you're going to use. Don't go over invested. And even if you're investing in a fixed asset, don't buy the flat which is very high-ended, because probably you are not. And if it's an investment flat, don't buy a high-ended flat. You buy something that you know you're going to sell off in 10 years and liquidate and get the money out of it. Okay. Those are those mistakes that people make when they go for the second home buying, or, other fixed assets when they're buying. They associate that, is it up to my standards? But no, that's not investment. If you're using it, then buy something which is up to your standards. But if you're investing, you have to see what is the end game of it. Am I going to get returns on it?
Okay. So this philosophy goes with all kinds of real estate investments?
Mostly, yes. So real estate, a shop, a land, a house, you name it. Okay. Most of them.
Any commodity,
especially for the older generation, youngsters, they've yet not formed those attachments. And a lot of it comes through legacy, right? So they are pretty blissy about it. But people who, as I said, who've earned it, who've lived it, okay, for them, it's very difficult to see those options and let go.
And one more last point. We have discussed real estate. What about commodity investments?
Commodity is good. So in commodity, I like gold. Where a lot of investment and fund, wealth advisors will tell you, no, not gold. And so, but there are those cyclical patterns to gold. But one thing more about gold, which I feel is very underestimated, is that gold, you can leverage it for loan. You will not get a loan on an MF or an equity portfolio, but against gold, you'll definitely get a loan. Okay. So loan has it, gold also has its own, pros and cons. Most of the time, so in my investment, I would also say little gold should be there.
So is it in the form of buying? Is it in the form of buying the specific gold bonds, or just?
I would say bond is better. We have, I think, gilt bonds, government bonds that come out, which are nice. But otherwise, I would say don't buy physical gold, because it really doesn't make sense. Okay. And ornaments is not investment again, because the making and all will cut it for you.
So one should go for specific gold bonds.
Yes, that's a better. And again, we are coming from the point of investment.
Yes.
Okay, not from like a hereditary heirloom or something. That is very different. The value is not the value of gold. it is again sentiments.
No doubt. Sakina, undoubtedly, you have just narrated and you have just explained this entire concept of investment, I believe, only in 4 to 5 pointers, which are so precise, so easy, and so crisp for everyone to understand. Means I do not belong to a financial background. And definitely, the past few years when I started my investment journey, then only I understood all these terms, which probably I'm sitting here and asking you the questions, but your perspective about the entire investment is so crisp, so precise. I would love to do a lot of discussion for definitely for my sake and in everyone who is watching and listening this episode. If you also wants to connect with Sakina, for you have seen that in the last 30 minutes we have just discussed everything about investment. So if you want to discuss with Sakina anything about your investment plans, whether it is 500 or 5 lakhs or any other amounts, so certainly you can connect with her. Probably Sakina, they can write to you through your email, and how they can
Absolutely.
connect with you.
Absolutely. Anytime. I'd be glad to help. See,
Okay, so
again, a disclaimer, I'm not in the market. I'm not your wealth manager, nothing. But how your portfolio should look like, how you want to see yourself is something, yes, definitely I could help you with.
great,
You
great.
know,
So I
get
would be
realistic. Yeah. So that's what I could help you get.
great. So everyone, I would be giving in the description section all the details where you can coordinate with Sakina for your investment plans, and any doubts and any apprehensions, anything if you are having about the investment. So I would just suggest, let's start. Whatever she is telling, I strongly agree with that. Just start even with the tiniest amount, whatever you have, so that you inculcate that habit of investment. That's a very beautiful discussion, Sakina.
Thank
And
you so
I
much.
know that I have taken your lot of precious time. Thanks, Q, and thanks a lot for just decoding all these buzzwords and difficult words for everyone when it comes to investment.
Yeah.
Thank
Finance guys protect their domain with jargon, a lot of jargon. So
you.
demystify that.
True, 100%. The people are little having little away from these kinds of terms. Especially, I would specially quote when it comes to females. Yeah, this happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So then they talk about gilt-edged securities. They'll talk about, a lot of stuff. And then like, oh my God, diversify your portfolio. Then you have mid caps, large caps, small caps. Where do you want to go?
Yes, no doubt.
So those, yeah. So then you really want to take a step back. My God, what is this?
What is this?
But it's very simple. It's as simple as what is your money and what you want it to do for you.
Great. No doubt, Sakina, I would request you one more time for the benefit of everyone so that you decode little this mutual funds market for all our viewers. That would also would be doing, but not today. For today, thank you so much for giving all these information. Thanks a lot, Sakina, for
Thank you
everything.
so much. Thanks. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.